Angela had somehow managed to make it out of the vehicle, as she was found lying on the pavement close to the vehicle, but she had passed away. No usable evidence was found at the scene, and no witnesses came forward with any information on the attack, so Angela's case quickly went cold. For the next 20 years, detectives would look into the case now and then, but it seemed utterly unsolvable. No leads had been received in the time that had passed, and it seemed as though Angela was merely in the wrong place at the wrong time, and this was a crime of opportunity. This was later confirmed when an inmate in a Texas prison stated he knew who had committed the crime and that he was ready to tell investigators what he knew. He pointed the finger at Phonse Phonevong, who at the time was known as Kapu. He added that while he was still part of the robbery attempt, Kapu was the one who pulled the trigger that day, and he knew Kapu was guilty since he'd bragged about the crime being featured in a newspaper, stating he'd finally made the news. Initially, Kapu denied any involvement and claimed that he was with friends at the time when the attack took place, but he eventually decided to come clean and admitted that he'd planned to steal Angela's car stereo so that he could buy a Valentine's Day gift for his girlfriend. At his trial, Kapu's defense attorneys asked that the prisoner's testimony be disregarded, since he was serving time in prison for murder, and hence his word could not be trusted. But it was quickly determined that there was probable cause for the trial to continue, and Phonevong was charged with first-degree murder in the perpetration of an attempted robbery. The prisoner stated that he was asleep in his apartment in Memphis when he was awoken by Kapu and another man called T. They seemed panicked and told him that they had to leave town immediately since Kapu had ended someone's life. The trio then drove to Murfreesboro, where they got rid of the weapon, but they quickly returned to Memphis when Kapu's girlfriend called him and stated she was angry that he didn't spend Valentine's Day with her and that he hadn't bought her a gift. He added that he failed to come forward with this information out of fear of retaliation by Kapu and the gang that he belonged to. But years later, he went through what he called a spiritual change, and realizing that he might receive a reward, decided to contact the police with what he knew. Kapu was sentenced to 30 years in prison, and he'll be eligible for parole after serving 30% of that time. Number 2. 40-year-old Virginia Freeman was a real estate agent in College Station, Texas in 1981, where she lived with her husband Charles and the rest of the family. Virginia, who was known to her friends and family as Ginger, was by all accounts a bubbly person who had a lot of friends and was well liked by most people she met. She'd carved a successful career for herself in the realty industry, and the 1st of December 1981 seemed like any other day, as her office received a call from a man who stated that he